Yo, welcome to New York City.
What's good, bro?
Dude,
NYC, baby.
I know. We're sitting day 2 of the first stop of the U.S. tour. In the only city that is at the center of the world, I personally think, New York City.
It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city.
But we're sitting here after a crazy, crazy night, a fully sold out show. And once we sold it out, there was just a crazy wait list of people being like, shit, I need to make it to the show. How did you feel?
Honestly, like last night's show was unreal. You know, you have a hope and assumption of how it can go. Once you're in it, right?
Yeah.
But just like Toronto, like it felt like a community event. It felt like a family event.
Yeah.
And I felt like because I was performing with the crowd, engaging with the crowd back and forth, like I felt like I had me, my team, and the whole squad with me. And no, it felt really good.
That's awesome.
Like it's an energy thing, right? It's like a receiving. So I'm giving energy out, and then I'm giving it back from the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, especially like I did specific remixes just for New York.
I know, bro.
And some of those remixes, man, like especially the Dumble crowd, like I felt like
that hit.
It hit home. It hit home.
Yeah. I mean, I think the best part of last night, right? It was such a diverse crowd. I mean, of course, there's a lot of Tamil people who've been following you since your OG remixes and flips, right? But I think it was like, there's a lot of non-Tamil people, like even my friends. And it's like, yeah, you want to talk about the New York one you did? Because people know the first song and all the Tamil people know the second song.
Yeah.
But now everybody else knows the second song too.
Yeah. That was crazy.
How did that come about? You were just like, let's do it in New York?
So that was actually something that came last on the list. I made that remix probably like 2 days ago, bro. Right? And I was telling my DJ, like, yo, there's one more song I got to add to the list.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my friends was like, did you use New York Nuggetum? And I was like thinking, I'm like, shit, how can I forget that?
Right.
Like, it has the words New York in it.
Yeah.
And then actually my manager talked about the Empire State of Mind.
Yeah.
That's such an iconic song.
Of course.
I want to use iconic songs, but the hard part is how do you blend these two worlds together in a way that is seamless, and transition well, and can hit the heartstrings on both songs, right?
Of course.
And I was just playing around, and when I heard the guitar on the New York Nuggetum, it just fit with Alicia Keys' voice. But at the end of the day, I don't know how it's going to be received, right? I have an idea, but man, and everybody was just screaming the New York Nuggetum part. Everyone's screaming the Empire. I really feel like both worlds collided in a beautiful way.
Because you started with Empire State.
Yeah.
Like you had given, I think, a few of us a sneak peek that it was going to be like a mix. But everyone's like, oh yeah, you're starting with Empire State. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like New York Nuggetum hits and people were going crazy.
I mean, I always try to give hints.
Yeah.
So I was kind of foreshadowing. If you notice, I was playing the intro of New York Nuggetum in the drum loop of Empire State.
I gotta go watch it back.
So I was kind of hinting at it, and then after it finished, we just went straight into it.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. No, I literally did that like 2 or 3 nights ago.
Yeah.
Just on the fly because I'm like, we got to find a way.
Yeah.
I knew everybody was gonna know both songs.
Yeah.
But
of course.
That was surreal.
Nice. You're a Scarborough, born and raised, right? And you spent your whole life there. And when you did your debut show, that must have been an incredible experience of just like friends and family and everyone coming together.
Yeah.
How did that really feel last night? Being like, I mean, you've been to New York before, but not in the context of being an artist, musician, performing.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone, I think the best part was like, you were just vibing with everyone. Everyone's coming dancing with you. Random people, and not random, everybody in the crowd in the community. How did that feel to you?
No, it felt like a blessing, man. Like all the fans I was talking to after the show, like a lot of people said, yo, I came in from here, right?
Yeah.
Somebody came from London. Somebody came from Houston. I had my family actually pull up and surprise me.
Yeah, from New Jersey?
From New Jersey.
That's crazy.
So seeing them in the crowd, it was like, I don't know. I've been thinking about doing this for so many years now. I've been in the game 9 years now, trying to build this vision of, bridging the gap between South India, Tamil culture with North America.
Yeah.
And having New York be the first stop in this whole U.S. Tour that we're trying to plan. A lot of people told me that they felt like they were in a space where they belong. And for me, that was really impactful. Like, I didn't realize it can go that deep. I didn't realize there wasn't a space like this, especially for the Tamil folks in New York.
Of course.
To want to go to a clubbing event where they can hear music from what they grew up with, but also from the Tamil films that they used to watch as kids, right?
Of course.
And that's how I grew up in the same way, which is why I'm like, okay, we got to make music that can appeal to both sides.
Yeah.
So that was really like touching for me when people said that, like, they felt like they belonged.
That's incredible. Did you realize when you started that it could be this?
I always had an idea, right? Because I just wanted to create something that I wanted.
Yeah.
But then I had my groups of friends who also thought the same way. And I thought has to be other people around the world who grew up similarly to I did, right?
Yeah.
So let me appeal to those people. But now that I'm deep in it, like, I've created this whole set with my team and we actually performing these songs. I just want better feeling than like performing it and people really vibing.
Yeah.
And understanding the vision, right?
Yeah.
No.
Nice. Let's get vulnerable. Was there a point in this 9-year career of you starting, because you've been doing music for a long time, that you were like, yeah, like, cool, we've done it. I've done a lot.
Yeah.
It's like time to maybe close up or move on.
I mean, even now, I always have doubts of like, okay, am I really on the right path?
Okay.
Right? Because music is one of those things it takes a toll on you, man. It takes a toll on you mentally, right? You put a lot of time and effort where you might not get the rewards financially right away, right? It takes time, right?
Yeah.
It takes time to build a community. It takes time to build trust with people. It takes time to be consistent.
Yeah.
These are all things I had to build habits and systems from throughout the years to get to this point.
Right.
Even now, I'm grinding like I just started.
Yeah.
But for me, the vision is so large.
Yeah.
Like doing the show last night and seeing the energy, even just talking about it, like, bro, we're still talking about how it was.
Yeah.
Like, bro, me and you were dancing.
Yeah,
right?
true.
And, like, even just watching the recap videos, I'm like, this is just a small piece of the puzzle. There's so much more work to be done.
Yeah.
And having every person be like, Yanchan, like, you're representing the Tamil culture. Like, for me, I'm like, I don't take that lightly. So I'm like, I want to just keep exploring this at the highest levels. We're trying to bring this to the big festival stage, right? I'm trying to bring Tamil culture, Tamil music, Carnatic culture, Carnatic music, South Asian culture to these bigger reaches, right?
Yeah.
Like where it goes beyond just our people.
Yeah.
And I really feel like it's possible.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just cracking the surface and that's what drives me every day.
I think that's like really, really special, right? Because when we're mentioning like the recaps, right? We're talking about the Instagram stories, looking at everyone posting, right? Everyone's popping off different parts of the segment, right? There's ones where it's like you're mixing, you're on the keyboards, or you're just like doing your thing.
Yeah.
There's ones where you're dancing. There's ones where you're on the mridangam, right? And it's like, can you imagine playing a classical mridangam where you're like in a clubbing boiler room environment?
Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. Like I've had these visions.
Yeah.
But now, like in Toronto, right? Actually, when we did our Arul experience back in November, that was the first time I really played a rhythm in a club setting like that.
Yeah, okay.
But that was like a traditional Carnatic type of concert.
Of course.
Like we sat,
Of
right?
course.
Sandeep and I performed. But that's just, I just want to show people who weren't from that realm.
Yeah.
This is where home is for me.
Of course.
But now, yesterday, I'm sitting kind of similar to how it was, like in a Carnatic concert, but this is in a different realm.
Of course.
So no, it was, and just seeing people gravitate towards that, like it's an energy thing, right? Like I was saying, the same way when we were dancing for the Kutta song.
Yeah.
When I'm playing, people just feel that energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I think especially the Carnatic fans really appreciated what I was trying to do, because even the Carnatic people who grew up with Carnatic music like I did, I don't think they've never heard Carnatic music in a space like that, or seen a rhythm in a space like that, or seen them blended in with hip hop or top 40 tracks. So I think it's giving people like a whole new outlook of what's possible.
I think so. Then pushing that point, right? Is like, I think one big piece of the puzzle, right, is like, and I think I mentioned this to you. It's like growing up, it was always hard to be like, I'm Tamil, because it's like people would ask, what does that mean? But now we can point to you, and many other independent artists who are really pushing pushing the frontiers in different ways, where it's like you're bringing the Tamil culture and Tamil music out to the public, right? Have you ever felt like, how do you like do that like authentically, in the sense of like, I think like growing up with it, right? Like it's like, we have this nostalgic feeling to these classical songs. How do you still like kind of blend it in a way that's like you feel true to the culture and your version of the culture?
I mean, to keep it simple, if it feels right, it feels right.
Okay.
So if I feel like I'm forcing it too much, then I know I'm overdoing it.
Okay.
But, like anything, you have to experiment. You have to, like, it's repetition. Yeah. Right? To be the best at something, you have to do it over and over again. And I think I've done so many remixes throughout the years, so many sampling old records, where, like, I found a process where, like, I know that 4-bar loop couldn't work. I know that there's this energy, there's this perspective in this section of the song that I can just take and add some new light to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's still a work in progress. Like every day I find new ways to try doing these remixes and, sampling the songs in different ways.
Yeah.
But that's where the fun is for me.
Yeah. Now the question is coming to identity. What do you identify as?
I identify as someone who just wants to try living his best life.
Yeah.
And for me, that comes from the Tamil experience, right? Of growing up as a Tamil kid in Scarborough.
Yeah.
In a neighborhood where I was around a lot of Tamil culture. In a household where I was around a lot of Tamil culture in the household, right? I'm speaking Tamil at home. I'm eating Tamil food.
Yeah.
I'm watching Tamil movies at home with my
Yep.
family. I'm playing the rhythm at home. Then I go to school and I'm exposed to other things, right?
Yeah.
Hollywood films, right? The food and culture in Canada, all right? But I think that's what made me into who I am now. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about bringing this culture, like especially the Tamil culture, in the forefront of, pop music. And I keep talking about the billboards because for me, growing up, that's what I looked at, right?
Yeah.
Watching much music, watching
Right.
BET, seeing that, and now seeing the wave with like Latin music, Punjabi music,
Yeah.
Korean music. Like there is a space for everybody, right?
Yes.
There's a space for Tamil people in this.
Yeah.
I think we can all compete together and help each other.
Yeah.
And I just want to play a small part in that movement.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's where I leave my impact.
So what do you see that moment as for Tamil music and Tamil culture?
I mean,
How does that happen in your point of view?
I always talk about like I want to produce for Drake.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I think a big reason why I say that is for me,
Yeah.
Drake is what got me into hip hop.
Okay.
And Drake is a guy who's one of the highest levels of qualities of hip hop for me.
Mhm.
Right. So to collaborate with someone at that level,
Mhm.
we still have a song with a minute and a minute, or a touch of a Tamil sample,
Yeah.
or even him singing a Tamil lyric, similarly to how he sang like Mia.
Mia,
That
of
right?
course.
Something simple. I think that can really revolutionize two cultures at the highest level. So,
Dude,
for me,
that'd be crazy.
See, you even just thinking about
That'd
it.
be
So now
fucking
imagine-
crazy.
For me, I really want to collaborate or help facilitate a collaboration,
Yeah.
kind of like DJ Khaled,
Yeah.
where is two high-level artists, one in Tamil, one in hip hop or pop or Afrobeats,
Yeah.
and get a hit song with that, a song that speaks to both masses, right? Like when I hear Mia, I'm like, this is worldwide. I didn't understand it, but I was still jamming to it in the clubs.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's a feeling to it.
Right.
In the same way, like a wide discoverability moment,
Of
but that
course.
has both.
both sides
Yeah.
of it. Right? Because that song was in English.
Yeah.
And it had the Tamil mix to it.
Yeah.
But it's a authentically Tamil song
Yeah.
that has English lyrics.
Yeah. So that's the goal that I'm trying to take it to bro. And that's what I see happening in the next couple of years.
That's incredible.
And that's going to be the domino effect. Once that happens, it's going to open the floodgates.
Because then everyone's like, we need to embrace Tamil. There's a moment here.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's going to be the new cool thing to
Wow.
listen to. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No. Yeah. That's incredible, bro. That would be absurd. So, what's the first step? What's the way we can start emphasizing that in your point of view? Like when you see yourself putting out the music, right? You see these experiences that you're creating, first in Toronto, now here in New York. I know you're taking this worldwide.
Yeah.
How do you get this? How do you get this going?
I think we're already on our way, bro. We're doing these shows, right?
Yeah.
In these shows, it has everything, right? It's multi-genre.
Yeah.
It's different tempos, different emotions. Like you said, people are coming to these shows are not all Tamil, right? But I'm pretty sure after they leave that building, they're like, okay, they're interested or curious about what's
Yeah.
the song that he
Yeah.
used, what's the remix.
Yeah,
It feels good. And I hope, outside of that, they're more interested. And as I'm doing this, I want to keep producing for all these artists, right? Bigger and bigger artists. And every session I'm in, I always talk about the rhythm. I always talk about Tamil, the Tamil experience, or in the Carnatic experience, in some small way. I think the more I start planting these seeds of more and more artists, the more I start introducing these sounds in an accessible way in these productions. I think it's just a matter of time before I get to that place.
Get to that place. So then let's talk about the Mridangam. So I am starting to understand more and more, right? Your love for it, and you treasure that instrument. Like I saw yesterday as we were setting up and as that instrument was there, it's like you take care of it. And you were slightly started talking about this.
Yeah.
Where it's like you started Carnatic vocals,
Yeah.
right? And then you were like, there was a draw to go to Mridangam. Like, what was that? Did you see someone play and perform that you were like, yo, I want to do that? Or like, what took you that journey?
Yeah, it was just another talent show that I was watching,
Oh, really?
and someone played the Brazilian talent show. And I think before that moment, I was already just tapping,
Okay.
like randomly.
While you were singing or just in general?
just in general, I think I would be tapping on household pots or whatever. It's
Okay.
for fun. So I think I always had that rhythm
Yeah.
sense. But when I saw that, I don't know. It was like I felt like an energy, like
Yeah.
pull me, like
Yeah.
I felt like this excitement, like yo, this guy's playing like this. What are these sounds? What are these tones? And I was so curious.
Yeah.
And I think that curiosity led me to like forcing my parents to be like, yo, I got to know what this instrument's about. And the more I started just playing the instrument and learning, the more it just became like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Right.
I
Right.
want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So, I think that passion just turned into an obsession.
Okay.
That's
That-
what brought.
That's what brought it.
That's why I still have that heart for it.
That's incredible. And it was I feel like it's a draw that you had innate to bring it out.
That's something like higher powers. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
That's one
Yeah.
of those things where like, I'm not that religious now, but I definitely feel like something pulled me towards.
That's incredible. What would you say of the music you've created was your favorite mix to have that you've made?
Favorite mix?
That you're just like, you look back on, you're like, I'm proud of what I did.
I mean, I'm proud of all the work that I've
Of
done.
course.
But I think the Scarborough beat tape was something that's very special to my heart.
Yeah.
Just as growing up in Scarborough, and that was like a love letter to the city that raised me, right?
Yeah.
So just making those beats, especially like Amama's interlude.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have specific soft spots for this woman in my life.
Yeah.
But when she passed, I always dedicated interlude to somebody in my family or
family.
close to me in my albums.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing that sample, and I think I reversed it. And it was something very simple.
Yeah.
But just adding the sitar, adding those touches, adding the rhythm and chop.
Yeah.
The Scarborough beat tape was something else.
That was hard. That was
It
good.
was- Yeah, it was just, during COVID, we were just all locked in. So we're all in our head with our thoughts. So I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
But I think that making that project was like an outlet for me. It was like an escape.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It helped me cope during the times. And I just feel like it was a great body of work.
What would you say is the hardest piece of work you've ever created? Or was it that?
The hardest piece of work? Man, there's a lot of songs that were like challenging.
Yeah.
But I think that the Shruti House song
Yeah.
that I did, that came out recently,
Any mail?
that was a challenge in the perspective of Shruti knows exactly what she wants to.
Yeah.
But she was also allowing me to creatively try my different
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So she comes from a background where she loves metal and rock music.
Yeah.
But also loves hip hop.
Yeah.
And also grew up with Hindustani classical. And
Yeah.
understands Tamil film music.
Of course.
So it's like, how do I take all those worlds and create a beat that embodies all of that while also staying true to what I like?
Yeah.
So just adding specific drums,
Yeah.
Got my manager to do the guitars, like electric guitars in that
Yeah.
song, and then trying to mix it in. That song was actually fully in English first with just the chorus and Tamil, and then they switched it to fully Tamil.
Yeah.
So just combining it. Like I sampled my voice. We got live bass.
Yeah.
Actually, my official DJ Palm played bass on that song.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy. I didn't
yeah.
know.
So we really got the whole team involved.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think every song, like with a new artist, when you collaborate, there's always like a push and pull.
Yeah.
But essentially, you meet in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think that song turned out incredible.
thank you.
And I remember seeing the piece where Kamal Hassan also comes in, effectively
Yeah.
does his own, not freestyle,
Yeah.
but like he embraces
Yeah.
his own version
Yeah,
of it.
that was crazy, man. Definitely
Yeah.
a highlight
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I think for my parents' generation too.
Yeah. For them to see that,
Yeah.
Kamal doing that.
Kamal, so me working on track with Kamal Hassan sir and his daughter.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Too
who
incredible.
would have ever imagined, right?
Who would have ever
And that's what I'm
imagined?
saying. I don't know where the future holds.
Yeah.
I know what I want to get.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll get to that
Yeah.
place. But I know if I just keep trying, eventually I'll hit these peaks
Yeah.
in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I want to keep trying.
You're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
I think one incredible piece you mentioning working with Shruti Hassan and then Kamal Sir, right? Or, I mean, not Kamal Sir in that sense, but like having him be a part of that is like, you worked with an incredible list of people, and especially people, I mean, in many cases coming up, right? And you identify them or you see them collaborate, and it's like part of the journey for them too, and part of your journey. And is it deliberate? How do you choose Like, what's the thinking behind that?
It's a vibe thing, man. I
Yeah.
think, music comes from a place where you got to feel comfortable with someone. You got to
Yeah.
feel like you're in a safe space to open up.
Yeah.
So a lot of before I even collaborated, a lot of it's just having conversations like this. Right?
Of course.
A lot of times when artists first come to my studio, they sit in my white chair, they have the orange ambience.
All right. Yeah.
It's just like 1 hour conversation talking about life. What your perspectives, what do you want?
Yeah.
What's the goal?
Yeah.
And then from there, I try to take in those energies and, ask them how they're feeling and try to create a song from that experience. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I am selective of who I collaborate with.
Of
I won't
course.
just collaborate with anyone.
Yeah.
I am specific, but I think the best songs I've made always happen just like in the moment.
In the moment. Yeah.
It's like, that's the magic that we talk about that I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people won't ever understand.
Yeah.
Like, I can't comprehend it. It's just like you get in a flow state.
Right.
And you hit certain chords or
Yeah.
there's certain emotions that come from certain samples or certain, drums, certain melodies.
Yeah.
And you kind of piece it together.
Where you see someone freestyle something and you're like,
Yeah.
yo, that
My
piece-
job as a producer is just to capture those moments and
Yeah.
make it into a full
Nice.
song.
Nice. So speaking of that, you mentioned this. What's up with the orange? Like, I mean, it
Yeah.
fits, right? Like, designing out your poster,
Yeah.
working with your manager, Mike, right? He was like, yo, orange is the color. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's make it happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, where did that, is that just your favorite color or?
I mean, growing up, I was definitely like, I really enjoyed green as well.
Okay.
Orange is there. When I think about it, I feel like orange, maybe it comes back to the
Okay.
tiger, right? I was always fascinated by the tiger growing
Okay.
up. And, the Tamil tigers.
Yeah.
I think orange, for me, it gives me a sense of warmth, right? When you think about orange, the sunset, when you think
Yeah.
about, the sun.
Getting cozy, being
Yeah,
intimate.
like, and I feel like I'm a very warm person in
Yep.
general.
Yep.
And that's why when we did like a whole rebrand from like Yanchan Music to Yanchan Produced.
Oh, okay.
Everything used to be Yanchan, like even my
Yeah.
Instagram Yanchan Music when I was
Yeah.
an artist and singing on a lot of tracks.
Yeah.
But for me, my biggest passion was always production.
Yeah.
I see myself like a Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
like a Timbaland.
Yeah.
Right?
Making these special collaborations happen.
Yeah. So my team and I, like, we really started honing in on the brand and
Yeah.
the marketing side of things.
Yeah.
And I didn't pay attention to it as much.
Okay.
But now I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have specific things that's true to you. And
Yeah.
orange was a color that always resonated with me.
Yeah.
So that's how we made it specific. Like, okay, in the branding, there needs to be some orange, right?
Yeah.
In the cover arts, in the clothing that I wear
Right.
sometimes, in the posters, in the
Of
images,
course.
right?
Of course.
And I think
It's clearly your studio.
my studio, that's
And
why
then the best part is your Mridangam cover
yeah.
is orange. I love seeing that.
Yeah.
And then yesterday you were wearing your merch, orange merch. It just sick.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, like, we're very strategic and purposeful about
Okay.
everything that we do.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, okay, when people think about Yanchan,
Yeah.
I want them to think about the color orange. I want them to think about a Mridangam player.
Yeah.
I want them to think about the bridge of South India, North America.
Right.
So if it's in people's faces,
Yeah.
I feel like they'll remember it.
Of course. Of course. So let's talk about, you say this so many times, the song that changed your life. Was that like how did that come about? Was that like easy for you?
You talk about the remember?
Of course. You remember. Yeah, I mean, your line yesterday was like, it just people, do people remember this?
I was trying to sneak one in. I don't know if people got it.
It worked. It worked. I was just like, I was in the back. I was just giggling to myself. It was great.
To be honest, that was just another beat that I made like every day.
Yeah.
Right. And when I started doing the iconic thumb flip
Yeah.
samples,
Yeah, of
the
course.
series on Instagram and TikTok,
Yeah.
it started going viral little by
Yeah.
little. But that was just another beat.
But
right?
that was like, was that beat number 2, if I remember correctly, when I saw the video?
No, I think it was.
It was later on?
Yeah, it was later on.
Okay.
'Cause I was doing that series for a while.
Okay.
And I remember like I made that beat.
Yeah.
Right. Got inspired by that sample, obviously.
Of course.
Added the drums, and then I made the video, posted it. When I posted, I was actually in Colombia for a bachelor party. It was my best bachelor
Oh.
party. So I posted.
You were
it
saying this, Cartagena?
in Cartagena.
Yeah.
I posted it, and I just
In Colombia.
in Colombia.
And you had made it there? No, you had made
No,
it
yeah,
before.
I made it, but I think I posted it in Colombia.
How long did it take you to post? So like, why did it take you so long? Or
I think the poster is ready, but I was just busy traveling. And stuff,
Oh,
right?
okay,
And
yeah.
I helped prep the bachelor party.
Oh,
so I was
okay.
stressed.
You were
When I plan-
stressed.
When I plan, I'm anxiety
Yeah,
and stress,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do shit.
Okay.
So I'm there, and then I just posted it, and I just turned my stop. Wasn't on Instagram. The
Yeah.
next thing I know, me and my boy look at my Instagram like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
I'm like up like 10,000 followers, and I'm like, what the hell?
Overnight. Or like within the day?
Overnight, I think I went to like 20,000, like up 20,000
Oh my
followers.
God,
Like,
really?
Like the video was like about to hit, like the video hit 100,000 views in like an hour. Like
That's
2 hours.
incredible.
I'm like, I've never seen that type of viral
Yeah,
success
yeah.
in that short amount of
Yeah.
time.
And that was on Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Instagram,
I posted
okay.
on TikTok too, but it didn't go
Yeah.
as viral.
Okay.
But then I just started seeing so many people use the videos
Yeah.
for lifestyle content,
Right.
right?
Right.
People when they're cooking and cleaning, when
Yeah.
they're feeding their kids, when they're playing with their dogs, when they're doing yoga, when they're
And
playing
it's not
makeup.
just Tamil people.
It's not just Tamil people.
It's other like non-Tamils and
Yeah.
non-Browns too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started getting tagged in videos of like famous musicians, famous actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Like Trisha used it in one of her
Oh,
stories.
really? Okay.
Like Shreya used it in one of her videos.
Oh,
These are
really?
people that I grew up watching
Yeah,
too.
of
And
course.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like we got almost like over 230,000 videos of people using it,
That's incredible.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like the first video went to like 9 million views. I posted another video again. That went to like 2 million.
Like a different.
A different video. Just
different
talking,
video.
using a
Oh.
song. So yeah,
That's
for me, I
incredible.
think that's what really opened a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Especially in India. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people looked at me
Yeah.
differently from that.
Yeah.
And I was able to leverage that, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities. So that's what I'm saying. Like you just never know.
You never know.
You never
But did you think that one was gonna hit like it did?
No.
No.
No. I mean, now I'm like, I don't know what's going to hit. I'm
Yeah.
just going to put out stuff that I really mess with
Yeah.
and feels good to me.
Okay.
And if it helps people and it impacts them, that's all I
Yeah.
care about.
Yeah.
Of course, if I get the viral moment,
Yeah.
I'm going to love that.
Yeah, of course.
But the only downfall is when that happened, I was chasing the next viral moment, right?
Of course.
So I'm like, when's the next beat going to
because
go like
you
this?
get so much energy from
Yeah,
that.
So I'm like sucked into that world and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that was like hard for me to deal with
Yeah.
too on the other side.
Yeah.
But I think now I found a balance of like, okay, when I get that viral moment, ride the wave,
Yeah.
ride the momentum and
Yeah.
keep going, right?
Yeah. How do you deal with that mentally, emotionally?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. But I think when I have the wave, I ride it. When I don't have the wave, I kind of have to ground myself and just remind myself, okay, look, you got to this place, right?
Yeah.
Kind of looking back at all the previous successes. But it's tough, man. I still have days where I'm like, you're not good enough. Like, you're not doing enough, Yanchan. You haven't hit the milestones you want.
Right.
You're going to turn 30 soon, Yanchan. Like, what are you doing, right? These are all questions that come in my mind,
Yeah.
right? So I battle with that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But I think it's nice to have a good support system around me.
Of course.
Right? I could talk to people around me and
Yeah.
and that helps.
Yeah.
That helps. Yeah.
Of course. Of course. And I think the piece of the puzzle there is like that becomes like a gate. Remember became like a gateway into all the other creations. Like even for me, right? Like I knew your songs, I saw your reels, and I had listened to different things. And it's like digging in.
Yeah.
That's when you realize, okay, there's this other music, there's this other sounds that also hit in different ways and bring out different emotions.
Yeah.
Why Remember? Why was the name Remember?
I mean, I think a lot of the times when I sample records, especially Tamil songs, it makes me reminisce about the past, right? Remembering old memories. And I don't know, for me, when I listen to these Tamil songs, it brings me back to my childhood, right?
Yeah.
The good times.
Yeah.
I think when I was making that beat, that sample reminded me of something from the past, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we should never forget those things.
Yep.
There's another motto I follow. It's like, dream big, but don't forget the little things, right?
Yeah.
I
Of
think there's
course.
a lot of those, when we're children, we don't think about anything about our life. We're just
Yeah.
in the moment, I feel like.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We're
of
just
course.
kids having fun.
Yeah.
Going through life.
Yeah.
But I feel like as we get older, we get more stresses, more responsibilities.
Yeah.
We lose that side of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I think it's like, it's that piece. Yeah. I had a friend say it while we were in college. It's like, we didn't know we were in the good days until the good days are past us. Right.
It's like that, right?
It's like that.
It's like you don't value something until it's gone. It's
Yeah.
the same concept.
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
I'm trying to be more present.
Have you seen the Roger Federer documentary on Netflix yet?
No, I did.
Okay. He talks about it. You should watch it, but he also had a commencement speech. I
Okay.
forget which university, but the incredible part of it is like, he's like, yo, it's just one shot. It's 1 point. It's like
Yeah.
you lose it, you win it. He was like, yeah, I lost as many points as I won. And it's like, but you just move on from the point because the only thing that next matters is the next point after that. But it's like, you gotta learn from the previous things and then move forward. And it comes back to your wave point too, right? Like,
It's like, yeah, fall down 7, get up 8, right?
yeah, of course.
I think everything in life, I think you can get out of
Yeah.
is through willpower.
Yeah.
But it's a mentality thing, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have some, like for me, being in this industry, I have some sort of blind faith. I
Yeah.
have some sort of hope, like I'm gonna make it,
Yeah.
right, in some capacity.
Yeah.
Or else I wouldn't be able to survive. I
Yeah.
feel like for me, because
Yeah.
there's so much that goes on into,
of course,
creating a blueprint in this career path. Like, especially for me, like what I'm trying to do hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There is no someone I can look up to. There's
course.
inspirations.
Yeah.
So, but I'm taking those inspirations, trying to make my own path.
Make your own path, right? And then that's why you're pulling in all these different people to start
Exactly.
creating new, unique, I think, pathways that didn't exist before. Okay, I'm inspired.
Thank you. I'm inspired by you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Everything you're doing with the community out here in New York. Like, it was really beautiful seeing the crowd yesterday.
Yeah.
Especially talking to you about, all the events that you're hosting, because you wanted to create a space.
Yeah.
Right? Where Tamils could come together and enjoy Tamil music, Tamil culture. But still allow everybody else to come and enjoy it with them.
Of course.
I think we're trying to do the same things.
I mean, that's a piece of the puzzle, right? Like, we're so proud of the music. We enjoy it.
Yeah.
Everyone should enjoy it. And it's like, hopefully they'll start understanding what the words mean, but at least for now, they can understand and feel the essence of the music. I think you do a great job of that. So now the question is, what is the rest of the vision here? What's next for Yanchan Produced?
I mean, we sold out Toronto. We sold out New York.
Yeah.
I want to sell out all the other shows in America. So if we can hit San Fran, hit Dallas, hit Chicago, hit LA, and then hit Europe in 2025, hit India end of this year.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to hone in on these shows.
Yeah.
And from there, eventually hit the bigger festivals.
Yeah.
And kind of like Fred again, just get to the stadiums. Right? Like, now
Yeah.
that I got to the arenas, I feel like stadiums are there. I see it, right?
You see it. That'd be incredible. Would you still do boiler room sets?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you choose that?
I mean, my team and I, we always talk about doing things differently, but we took inspiration from the boiler room because it's a very different experience of like somebody's in the middle.
Yeah,
everyone's around you, right?
Of course.
And
I don't think Tamil artists, especially, have done anything like that. I don't think. I haven't seen.
But also, I was in India a few months ago, and I was showing this set to my videographer.
Okay.
And he was so inspired. We were jumping on the bed up and down, just listening to the set. He's
Oh,
like,
really?
yo, like, let's shoot a boiler room style
Yeah.
video.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
let's make
yeah.
our own boiler room
Yeah.
video, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll invite the people, shoot it. So, like, even just talking to him and him.
That was the Toronto show?
Yeah.
You were just like, let's record something. That's crazy.
Because we're like, okay, how are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Let's make it our own.
Yeah.
But he was really, like, pushing, like, when I was showing him the set,
Yeah.
like, for me, that gave me, like, oh, shit, like,
You can do this.
you could do this.
And we pulled it off here in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
So-
awesome.
Nah, bro. I think my team and I, we always talk about doing things.
Yeah.
The non-traditional way.
Yeah.
I think even all the projects, everything that you see, it hasn't been really conventional. Like, we were marketing beat tapes as if it was actual albums, like with songs.
Yeah, of course.
With lyrics.
Yeah.
No one really did that, I feel like, at that time, right?
Yeah.
Even sampling Tamil records the way I'm trying to do in hip hop.
Yeah.
It wasn't really sampled the way that I feel like it's happening now.
Yeah.
Now with this boiler room, even yesterday, I feel like a lot of people were confused a little bit, right?
Dude.
People didn't know that, we want you to fill the space. But I think as they started being in it, they started enjoying it more.
Of course.
So I think now the more I do these shows, people are going to understand, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah. But I think that was the thing, right? Like when we had the openers and then people were starting to trickle around.
Yeah.
And then, but I think it's like traditionally when they see, we talked about this, many like older Tamil artists and musicians where you're like, the music is here, just sit and enjoy. But it's like, I think the next generation, especially with you leading the way, are like, come and join us in the music. Come and join us in the experience. You're part of the vibe. You're dancing with the crowd. And it's like people eventually throughout the night seeing it. You going around partying, going with the Palm, going back there and then pulling in random people from the crowd. I think people got comfortable. I think it was like these few people were like kind of, not to say shy, but they were like, oh, okay, like we're going to enjoy it. And then I think I remember seeing them in the back. And then by the end of it, they were in like the front, just like cutting it up.
Yeah, no. And that was such a surreal experience for me. Yeah. These are people I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like people you don't know who are jamming to your music.
Yeah.
And having a time. Like, I just want people to have the time of their life.
Yeah, of course.
That's what a party should feel like.
Right.
You should let loose. Like, let go of whatever you have in the moment.
Yeah.
Just have fun, right?
Yeah, of course.
And me and you were jumping up and down too, bro. It's fun.
Dude, that was
I saw you with
crazy.
your dance moves. So,
I can't dance. I can jump up and down,
Yeah.
and I'll be crazy.
so your brother definitely got it down for
Yo.
setup again.
Yeah. You guys, I mean, everyone will see. We're breaking the third barrier here,
Yeah.
but everyone's gonna see this video. Yo, and then you guys had a 4 circle, like 4. Everyone was breaking down.
It was sick. Yo.
That was a party.
Got my manager in the back.
Yo,
You know, jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Got Palm on the decks jumping up and down. Yo. It was,
Palm was ready to mosh.
oh.
I was ready to mosh with Palm.
Palm
You would
on-
have joined up. You would have joined
Palm
up.
on the towel too. It's ready, bro.
Yo, he was on a different level. Everyone
man.
was on a different level.
Honestly, this wouldn't come together if it wasn't for the team.
Of course.
You know, it's not just me making the music. It's
Yeah.
I have different set of ears that help bring this together, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's a lot of conversations that we have.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we butt heads, but that's the beauty of it. It's like
But I think
Find
that
the
sort
middle
of
ground.
conflict
yeah.
sparks up new
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
Because either it's like it furthers your existing ideas or
Yeah.
their existing ideas, or you come up with some middle ground that's potentially better.
So I feel like the set came through that whole process. Just trying different shit. Okay, what
Yeah.
song would go with this?
Yeah.
What song would transition better with this? How do
Yeah.
we slow it down? How do we bring it back up?
Yeah.
But only once I actually started performing, then I feel like I can see it. Once you see the people reacting, then I can go back home like, okay,
Yeah.
we can make this part better, or we can
Yeah.
try to like. So
Are there any live edits you made in the show yesterday? And you were like, shit, let's change this up?
I mean, I feel like because the New York Nugget one, that was
Yeah.
the last minute.
Yeah, that was
insert, right?
yeah,
But
exactly.
I feel like that was one of the biggest highlights.
Yeah.
And especially, so I maybe would have done more of like making that longer.
Longer, yeah,
And
right.
especially the dancehall stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I could have included more dancehall
Dude,
stuff.
everyone popped off
Yeah,
for the
like,
dance hall.
Even in Toronto, like when we did Egyptian Hold Chip, people were going off. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe, you know,
And the drill.
the drill, yeah.
Dude, drill, people were like,
yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
we're going off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nice.
when I'm noticing these different things, I know things will have to change because the crowd will be different in every city, right?
Of course.
And then there'll be some similarities. I
Yeah.
think that's where I got to learn.
Yeah.
That's why I want to keep performing the city. So when I come
Cool.
back, I know exactly how to give them a product
And
that
what
want.
they like to see, yeah. So are we going to see an Empire State, New York Nuggetum official remix?
We'll see, bro.
We'll see.
We'll see. There's a lot
Oh,
of people
man.
keep asking me for a lot of remixes.
Yeah, of course.
But who knows? Maybe I'll release a remix tape one day. That
We have enough. We have enough album art type photos from last night that you're like, this is New York.
yeah.
Yo, that'd be
Well,
crazy.
thank you for having us.
Dude,
Good.
thank you for coming through. And thank you for, I think, again, really showing a new style of what Tamil culture and identity meant. Because again, last night was not just Tamil people, of course, but it was other people seeing, hey, Tamil can be this lit and vibes. And it was also Tamil people being like, yeah, I'm proud of Yanchan. I'm proud of this. Girl came up to me last night and was like, yo, I like sent a video to my mom and I'm like, I feel like I found my people. And she said she didn't grow up in a Tamil community or with Tamil friends around.
No, that's awesome
Yeah.
to hear, man. Like, what more do you want? Like,
Yeah,
for
of
me,
course.
that's a fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
This is why I make music. I want people to feel like they do belong, right?
Of course.
I want to help create a safe space for that.
Yeah.
And if I can do that with my music, then I'm going to keep doing that forever.
Absolutely.
I think that's the beauty of it.
That's amazing, man. I mean, hey, more to come. And there's going to be more conversations. And I'm excited to see what you do just within this like short year we have left.
Yeah.
But also, right, like hopefully a Drake collab. That'd be crazy.
Soon, bro. So
Soon.
I'm going to produce for all the biggest artists across all genres of music. That's what I tell myself every day.
We're manifesting it here.
We're manifesting it.
Okay. My key thing is if that's happening, if you do the Drake thing, I don't know if you've ever shared this publicly before.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on the podcast. But my ask is when you drop it,
Yeah.
the first time you perform that song live has to be in New York City. I mean, could be in Toronto.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I get it if it's Toronto.
Fuck,
But
that's
maybe
hard.
maybe the second one has to be New York City.
Okay. I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah.
But maybe second.
Second.
It's not-
Okay. Toronto. As I said that, I realized like it has to be Toronto first.
I was like, oh shit.
Oh, shit. I was kind of putting you on the spot to be like, yes. Okay, second.
But
Okay,
it's a possibility.
it's a possibility.
it's
It's
a
a
possibility.
possibility.
It's a
Okay,
possibility.
okay, okay. Well, I'm excited, man. Thank you for joining us.
No, respect.
Thank
bro.
you for coming to New York City.
Thank you, man.
And thank you for showing us how proud we can be to be Tamil last night.
Always,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Always.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cheers. Let's do it.